Hello, everyone. I just wanted to give you guys an update on the documentary. I know many of you guys have been following for a long time and you've been supporting my work and the documentary, so I thought you should know where we stand with it. Right now, the documentary is in post-production being edited. We're still trying to raise enough money to pay for a colorist, a sound tech. There's so many things that go into getting a documentary completed and done. And we've had to fundraise and crowdsource for everything. Every trip I had to make to interview somebody, every time I had to go to Michigan to be there for something, we had to fundraise for that. And that's where, the funding has gone so far, equipment, things of this nature. Because remember, we had no production company, zero experience making a full-length documentary film when we started this project. So we have come such a long way, and I thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for helping me make this a reality, for believing in me and investing in me. And I know that it's been a year since our trailer was released. We're working on an updated trailer just so you guys can see how much we've done with the resources you've given us. I'm going to ask your help though in helping us complete it. We need to raise a little bit more funds to get to the final round. And I wanted to let you guys know how we're being suppressed and targeted. As you may be aware, the official Twitter account for the documentary film no longer exists. It was terminated without notice, without warning, with no email, no violations that I know of. No one can point to anything. And this happened within 2 days of The Intercept, a left-leaning publication, putting out a big article on the informant Robeson, which is interesting because I'd written an article in December of 2020 about him specifically, talking about how there's no way he's a double agent as the government claimed because they're still protecting him. And I went into detail of why. And so, it just is interesting to me, the timing of things. I know it sounds goofy to think that perhaps, just perhaps, they want to control the fallout here, right? Maybe they're giving information to friendly media sources so that they're the only people, quote, covering the FBI corruption, the BuzzFeed folks, the people from The Intercept. I had reached out to Trevor Aronson at The Intercept because he wrote the book The Terror Factory back in 2012. So I thought he'd be interested in covering the case. I wanted to actually interview him for the documentary. I got no response. And now there seems to be a concerted and coordinated effort to silence my coverage of the case while elevating left-leaning coverage of the case, which I'm glad that both sides are covering this. I'm glad that more people are covering it. I'm glad it's getting mainstream attention, but I feel like there's a concerted effort here to silence us so that the only people who have a voice in talking about the corruption is essentially one side, right? And The Intercept and the BuzzFeed folks, they admitted that they worked together on their series. They're both on the Chameleon podcast series. I don't know if Campfire Media is the same producers for both of them, but it's just one company they want. One company that is going to, tell the truth of this massive case. I think that's ridiculous. And so we're not going to be silenced. We've lost our Twitter account, even though Elon Musk proclaims to be a free speech absolutist. He claimed that it was going to be different and better than YouTube. Well, here we are. YouTube hasn't, removed and terminated our documentary account. We are heavily suppressed though, and we had 10 times the views for our documentary trailer on the X platform than we did here. And so I think that there's that also is very telling, and it would mean so much to me if you guys could tag big creators online with this video, let them know that this is happening, that they're censoring a major independent documentary. This is put together by a team of 3 to 4 people. That is it. That in and of itself is such a major and huge accomplishment. Like, so many of us have sacrificed for years, have worked so hard. I have put my blood, sweat, and tears into this project to get this done. We've put our own money into this. And, for them to silence this documentary on one of the biggest corruption scandals in FBI history on the year of an election is really concerning, especially because X bills itself as this free speech platform. So please, if you can, don't harass anybody or anything like that, but if you could tag them online, people like Elon Musk, X, at X support, independent filmmakers, journalists, people who claim to care about things like this, that you'd think this would be a major story, like, hey, they're trying to suppress this big documentary on this big scandal, like on an election year. What's going on here? You'd think this would be newsworthy. Nobody will cover this. I tagged One American News. I tagged Blaze TV. Blaze TV is putting out articles about the stupidest, nonsense, literally like gossip about celebrities, but they have nothing to say about this. The people who talk about a culture war all the time and the importance of engaging in it have nothing to say, I guess, about me being silenced and suppressed. So we're learning a lot, guys. We're learning a lot about limited hangouts. We're learning a lot about controlled opposition and gatekeeping and astroturfing of certain voices and the suppression of others. And I don't think that this is what anybody wants moving forward, this AI censorship regime, whatever it is. So I ask that you guys pray for me. I ask humbly that you continue to support the documentary financially, because we are probably going to have to distribute this ourselves. I doubt anyone is going to pick it up. And in order to get it out to as many people as possible, we're going to have to pay for advertising. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do to get this distributed. So I would greatly appreciate that. And if anybody has any suggestions or any ideas, reach out to me. My email is on my YouTube channel. It's Christina@radixverum.com. You can always email me. The email for the documentary is contact@knkfilm.com. Please, anything you guys can do, it would be greatly appreciated. It would mean so much to me. But more important than me, the guys, this is their story. This is them telling their story in their own words. And you're hearing from people that were part of this that you've never even heard of. There's so much in the documentary that you don't know about this case. And it's so important, guys, really. So thank you so much for that. Bye.